Are you filming it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You go first, Dad.
All that rough water out there, that little ripple on the water is all live bait swimming around. Matthew and I are going to walk out there with our cast nets, try and catch a big mess of bait, and then we can start doing a bit of fishing here.
And next,
I think it's bait. It could be a crocodile, could be a whale, or it could be a big man-eating shark or something out there.
that's what I'm going to walk
I
out.
think it's either mullet or herring.
See, folks, I hear you never walk in the water.
Go. Rightio.
Brent, I caught something. And this is wet water. That's what I call cannibals.
Happily we beat the crocodiles and the sharks to them. I'm happy anyway. Under your bait, that might mean there's no fish. But on the bright side, the bait's in the shallow water. So we might find a fish out where it's a bit deeper. These are ideal size to use whole. Barramundi, or cut them in half for a grunter. You got mud trouble, grab them and take them. Yeah. You can see the bait straight in the water there.
There you go, folks. Bait and attitude.
You can actually see where the bait is. It's a big area in front of us. All that ripple on top of the water is all where the bait's swimming around. There isn't much between here and there. It seems to extend for a fair way out. There's a big school of mullet there. This is all shallow mud flats in front of us. We will throw our lines back around the way we walked from, out into a deep channel that will be right in front of our where the car is.
I want my net back.
I
Hi.
think so.
This is a hand line we're fishing with today. There's a hook about that size. And grab a bait, a nice live little mullet. Ooh, which one shall I have grab? Try and keep them alive, try and hook them just through the fleshy part of the back, without cracking through their spine if you can. And they'll wriggle that way for a lot longer than these fish will survive in here. Because we have no aerator. Because someone forgot to pack the aerator, didn't they?
No.
Matthew. You want to throw him in or do you want me to?
I got shot.
Okay, we'll throw him in now. It's usually good to stuff up the first row, so it only goes out a few feet and the bait flies off the end. And you may just try hard the second time.
Bait goes flying.
And you bring your hand on way up the beach, put your slack on it. Look how fast it swims.
Come on, I'm fit.
current's going out, not the best current, and it's very strong. So we leave it until it gets pulled that away. Then we can run down the beach and jump.
More spectacular one.
Not as strong as me. One more.
Mark the ceremonies.
Got room for one rod, Matthew. You might get to use your rod.
Yep. There's what on it though?
Okay.
There's what on it?
Sure. Had a bit of one of these
You want to use a big one.
Okay.
You want to use a big braided one.
Yeah, right. Grab your rod. Do as I say with two hands. Do exactly as I tell you. Hold on to it. There.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's your water.
We're going to stick a fillet on here. One of our fresh bait we just caught.
Here's
And see if we can't catch maybe a queenfish per chance. Or a brim or whatever might be swimming past.
at the moment.
Yeah, that's a minute.
Hard. The moment time was eventually.
If you've got a sharp knife in here, other than what you're carrying in your hip, you look like Tarzan.
Where's your knife?
Better one than
No.
yours.
Matt, hold up your knife.
Dad's old hunting knife. Dad's old little bread knife. Thingy jiggy. That is in my knife alone.
Take the rod, please, Matt.
Didn't Dad say not to film that fish?
I did.
What then what's she doing filming it?
You're cutting it up for bait. Why can't I film it?
Because
It's still alive.
Matt, can you take the rod, please? Thanks.
Okay, step into my workshop. We'll cut marks where everyone does their bait cutting.
isn't this a cutting board?
Off with his head.
That landed on my shoe almost.
Yeah. That tail will make one bait. Ooh, there goes my finger. That's big enough for another bait.
What, your finger?
Yeah,
Look, right on this.
there we go. We could keep looking at those hand lines because we won't hear them if they go, they'll just disappear. And if something big grabs them, they'll disappear really fast.
Something small grabs them, they go just as far. Boom, boom.
Tail is a nice spine bone through here and it's really tough, very hard for the fish to pull off. So I always prefer the tail if I can get one.
And so does my big sister.
Put him on first to see what's out there.
Like most people, also including my sister, people love using tailbones.
There you go, Matt.
Except for me, I like the heads.
Are you going to cast that out?
No, it's too big.
Pardon me, fish.
Quit bugging the fish, Dad.
Mullet soap.
Quit bugging the fish. Oh, Rony, eat fish, eat your breakfast.
Yes. In a minute.
Is this braid or something? Oh, is this braid?
That's seaweed.
Braid.
Yeah, it's time to check one of our lines now, so Bronny's going to come down and wind the rod in and throw it out again. At least I think that's what she's going to do. How's it feel, Bryce? Is there a biggie on there? I don't. Nothing there, Bryce? Did you get something?
Yeah, the snake.
Does it look alright still?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Throw it back out for them people back home that can see how you can cast a line. Did you get the water?
Just.
I didn't really see what happened. So is it good enough?
Yeah, it'll be. We're going about 3 metres. Yeah.
Alright, well, is that where it went, 3 metres?
Yeah. A bit further.
You have a go, Matt. Try and get out in that channel is where we've got to get it. Yeah, I know. You handle your rod very well. That's a different rod, and you're just not used to it. And neither is Matthew, but we'll see how he goes. That was out at least 4 metres. You're lying to me. The bait's still on, Matthew?
Yep.
Everything set properly? Is the ratchet turned off?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. I wasn't winding it in and I can't hear.
That's that one hers went.
Well, looks like I better do it, doesn't it?
You want to wind it in?
Yeah, wind him in. There's no crabs or anything taking out of bait today. Well done. You want to pick one of the mullet for bait?
For a pet.
For a pet?
I can kick out everything about growing sea monkeys and feeding my sea monkeys.
You feed him your sea monkeys?
A sea monkey's food, little shrimp eggs,
Yeah.
food, keep them alive.
But he needs your aerator.
I mow the lawn.
That's going to pay for batteries for 1 or 2 days. And I only mow the lawn once a month in the dry season.
There's other jobs I can do, isn't there?
Hey?
There's other jobs I can do. Wash the louvers.
Here we are, been fishing now for about half an hour, and Bryony's so excited and so enthralled with the lack of bites that she decided to play with something off she found on the beach somewhere. And Matthew's just taking it easy.
Yeah, Grace, I'm changing the fish's water.
Why are you doing that?
So they stay alive.
Okay.
Longer. Left with the aerator.
Because we haven't got an aerator. Is that because someone forgot to put the aerator in the car?
Hope so fish, isn't it? They stay out in dumb mullet. That's the one I want for a pet. And now I'm putting fresh water in this plastic bag.
Okay, so Matthew's emptied most of the water out for the fish, and he's putting fresh water back in, like he just said, to try and keep them alive, because someone forgot the aerator. I heard a little voice say, yeah, me, but it wasn't that little voice, it was a different fellow.
This stuff is repeated every 5 minutes.
He really does it every half hour. You know how bored he is. If he gets really bored, he might do it every 10 minutes. But that's the name of the game, to keep your bait alive so it kicks around in the water when you're using it. But we've had no bites yet. So maybe there's nothing around. And if you look back over here again, all our hand lines are standing still, nothing's happening. And out there in the water, there's no bait, it's totally disappeared. And that was where that big school of bait was earlier, only less than an hour ago. Sun came up and it got warmer, the tide's coming out, and the bait's gone with it. But we're still hoping. And Bryony's still enthralled with the fishing, and she's still untangling that big tangly bit of line that Matthew found for her. And go back to assuming their fishing positions. There's somebody here last night fishing, I think, and that's possibly the closest we're going to get today to a fish. It'll be this one here. The queenfish show just cut the fillets off and thrown back in the water. There's a couple of hermit crabs. You might be able to pick them up on the back end of it, just having a bit of a chew on it. No shells there. Not a good idea to do this around public places because that tends to attract crocodiles and creatures like that.
Well, Matthew's pulling in the handline, and as you can see, he's putting it neatly at his feet. Yeah. That just enables you to throw it out a lot easier than if you wind it in onto the reel and then try to throw it out. So let's see what he's doing.
Let's see if his bait's still alive. We've had no touches, have we, Matthew?
No.
And it doesn't feel like there's anything on there other than your bait?
Feels a bit heavy.
But is it a fish or just your bait and sinker?
I think it's just my bait and sinker.
Righto.
If it is a fish, I hope it flicks right in the head of its tail. Will it be your greatest terror? Yeah, probably. It's coming!
Now, how does he look, Matthew? Has he been scaled? What do you guys think?
Has it been scaled?
Just come, hang on, I'll come closer.
As you can see here, this fish hasn't had a touch. Scales are still full intact.
Okay, so
No bite marks either.
we can keep using him?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just get away and you can cast him out again.
Okay.
Okay, Matthew's going to throw out again now. Far as he can. Very good. You're the man, Matt. Now, Brony, do you want to do the next one?
Okay. I'm just winding this line here just like Matthew did. Trying not to get tangled up around the rocks or shells or anything else. I don't think there's a fish on there, but the bait might be.
We hope it is.
And that counts as a fish.
Well,
Did you see the little fish just jump out there?
No, I can't really see it to the water very far in front of you.
Is my line in that past? Oh, there it is. It's coming. I got it. I got a fish. I got half a fish.
Just bring it over here and show everyone, bro.
Looks like a punt's trying to eat my face.
Hold it up in front of your face. So that was a live mullet and we threw it out.
Yep.
And I think, yeah, you're right, a crab would have grabbed that and just chewed the bajingos out of it. So what we'll have to do is get another mullet and replace that one with a fresh one and try it out again. Let's go and do that, shall we? Yeah, it's hard to tell whether it's been bitten off by something bigger. I tend to say something's had a bite of that rather than the crab chewing it. Looks like a pretty clean bite to me. So maybe there's a big fish out there just chomped it and didn't actually run with it, just chomped it off and went with the piece he had in his mouth. We'll try again. Alright, we've got a fresh bait on. It's still kicking slightly. And provided Brony isn't standing on her line, she should be able to biff it out a fair way again. And we'll hope for the best. I couldn't see. How did it go, dear? I couldn't see.
It went up, not out.
Went up. Did you get a bird? Do you want me to try it?
Yeah, I think, yeah, if you want.
We've got to get it right out there in the same place if we can. I'll give it a go. Really, it's hard to tell whether you've got a bite with this strong current. You need a big bite, something to pull our hand line so I can see it physically happening. Okay, Matt, one more, eh? I said I found a sinker on the beach, so if I don't get any fish today, at least I found a sinker and take home with it.
I'm going to make it tonight.
Matthew will hopefully come down here and stand where it's nice and clean. There's no big sticks and rocks laying around. You can pour it in, nice big coils, roll it around and throw it out again.
Ready?
Yeah. Go ahead and move the star, you.
How big a fish do you think's on the end?
Mum would bet that wrong.
Okay, let's see if he's right.
lucky after this, might be able to talk Matthew or Brony into casting a cast net to go up their soil. There's no bait fit. Let's go see how they do that. Oh, by jingoes.
What did I say?
Matthew caught a mullet up the Connivah.
And the film is rolling.
But how did you manage that? I thought you were supposed to catch it in their mouth.
You've got to hold it in your hand. You can hook it up the Connivah.
Let go. I never saw it land.
We might just give that another go. This is the proverbial stunned mullet. That's isn't it? And I can't be bothered throwing it out again. Hey? Does he want to rock you to sleep? He's naughty. You want to throw the cast net for us? Just to show us how to do it? You want to do, Brony?
I need a few practice casts first. I haven't done it in a while.
You have some practice casts.
Okay, well, I've been practicing casting the cast net, and while I was practicing, I got these annoying little fish. They're really spiky,
I'll try and zoom in on them.
and they hate me. Always spike me.
They're right in the bottom of the net, are they?
Yeah. Alright, now, as you see, there's big spikes.
Oh, okay.
They're dangerous.
Yeah, very sharp little spikes on them. Not poisonous, just annoying because they prickle you. Well, I'll zoom back out so I can find him.
My hand's in the way.
No, I can see him. Rightio. Okay, when you're ready, we'll watch you do a proper cast, but Matthew wants to show us one of his. So I'll switch across to Matthew. We'll watch Matthew pull his line in. You got a knot, that happens sometimes. You'll notice while Matthew pulls his net in, he puts the rope into a coil in his hand, which makes it a little bit easier when he goes straight out next time. Holds it once, grabs the net, folds it again, grabs the net in his rope hand again. Now if you watch him closely, he'll... Oh, he's got a rock in his net. Can you get it out, Matt? Do you want me to pause and give you a hand? Is she right? Because I can't really see in this black and white viewfinder what you're doing. Okay. Now you'll see he's gathering the chain up now in his hand. I can't really see because he's turned around on me. Now we can see. He's gathering the chain up in his hand.
Dad, behind you. Get a picture of that.
I can't doing you.
Wedge-tailed eagle.
And there's a wedgie. Oh God, you're going into the blooming sun. Okay, Matt, we're back with you now.
I picked up this in one hand, and I picked up the other side, gathering up the chain.
Okay.
So Chuck, you have to bring your arm around and bring this hand here over the other arm, which should make a perfect circle.
Okay, well anyway,
Let's see if it does.
any open shape at all is good enough, isn't it, sometimes?
Let's see if it does.
Well, let's see how you go. How did you go? I couldn't really see it. Was it pretty good?
Yeah, it's open.
Yep. There's a lot more to it than that because you've got to actually find the bait, don't you, too, Matthew?
Yeah.
And then throw the net over it.
As you can see, I'm walking. As you can also see, I'm walking out in the water. Also because I'm wearing water boots.
Calcium water boots. Oh, hang on, I'm going to zoom in, don't move. They're water boots, just like the ones I wear.
Unlike me, it is a conventional school shoe.
Look at Brony's water boots. They're also her hash running shoes, her going to school shoes, her going everywhere in fact shoes that she wears for any purpose. And Brony today is attired in a long pair of trousers to keep the crocodiles and the stingers off her legs and mosquitoes and sandflies, and then she's got down to a t-shirt because it's getting a little bit warm. Are you ready to give us a cast, Brony?
Okay.
Are you going to go for bait or just going to practice casting?
I'm just going to cast.
Okay.
And hopefully not catching on the net spike.
Right out, let's see how it goes. And there you go, wasn't that something? Just goes to show you I can just sit back and relax and let the kids catch the bait for me now. Except for when it's right out in the middle of the water and there's crocodiles around. I would never send them out where I was this morning. That looked pretty good, Matt, from here. Was it a good one? I couldn't really tell. But like I said, the real trick is being able to find the bait, because it's not always as easy as it was this morning. Sometimes you only can see 2 or 3 fish in the water, or a tiny little ripple, but there's a small school, maybe half a dozen or a dozen fish. Not usually in their thousands. Did you get anything? No spikies? Thank goodness for that. Here come the 2 bait hunters, scanning the water as they walk along in single file, or line abreast, whatever they happen to feel like walking in. They're watching the surface of the water. They see a ripple, like Matthew seems to have just saw something. They'll have a go at casting over it, and there was bait around here. We've been known to catch barramundi in a net like this, and we've been known to catch mullet apparently this time. Get little flathead, little whiting. 2 mullet, Matthew. That's excellent.
Let them go?
Yeah, we haven't got a bucket with us. This is just a little bit of a trial. And as we get further down the beach, at low tide it's quite rocky down there. You can see one big rock sticking out of the water. Quite rocky there, and there's bound to be now still bait hanging around those rocks. So I'll see how we go down there.
As you can see, there's little silver sparkles out there, and that's the fish or possibly bait that we're trying to catch. So let's go see if we can catch them.
Rightio. Where they're heading, very rocky, very easy to get your net caught if you're not extremely careful. And from all the evidence we've seen, there should be a mountain of bait in there, just difficult to catch. Those rocks have got oyster shells, so of course they're going to cut the nets to pieces if you're not really careful. And your feet if you're not wearing shoes. So I'm just trying to guide Matthew in. She can see something, and he's probably nearer to it than she is. No, maybe it's gone. We'll go down and have a closer look. If there's any bait there, you should see it take off in front of the kids when they get near it. Either fish jumping out of the water or just a bit of a swirl on top of the water. There's still the odd sparkle, which is just a small mullet coming to the surface. They're just having trouble finding a spot they can cast their net. Anyway, we'll get a bit closer to them, I think. There's something you don't see every day, not usually for Brona to go wandering out into the water. She's usually very cautious. You will see bait moving around her. There's a school of bait just beside her, but it's well out of her reach. Very hard to see, to ripple on the water, but it's there. It's very difficult, there's a lot of rocks here. Very hard to cast the net out. I think the persistence has paid off. Are they mullet? You could have got a good little swathe of them. Yeah, mullet?
Yeah.
Oh, very well done, Bri.
I didn't suck at fish anyway.
Now, Matthew's in the same place Bri was, so I think she probably scared them.
Oh, you should have guessed that.
But it's always worth having a second try. There's often
Yeah, so we can keep those mullets.
often the ones that you miss will come back again.
Anyway, Matt. Oh, Dad, have you one of these for pet?
No, we haven't got an aerated, only the battery operated ones.
So that's what I supposed to go in my little thing, my little tank.
With the sea monkeys,
Whoa. Yeah, with my sea monkeys.
at least you won't starve.
With my sea monkeys, yeah.
If we can ever get a proper aquarium set up, we can probably keep a couple of tiny mullet in it. But there's aerator and there's proper salt water and the proper temperature. And we don't know anything about keeping fish at the moment. But some of those small, this is a bit small, the ones we got this morning, and the small mullet often will get caught up in the net a lot worse than the big ones, and they're hard to get out. This morning a lot of them just shook out, well these have nearly all got their heads caught in the net. And you watch Matthew give his sister a hand in a minute and you'll just see how bad they are. That one in front of you is caught up, Matt, and his head in the net?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're real small they'll push through pretty easy.
Like that one.
Put them straight back in the water. We're only letting them go because we've got plenty of bait. And this is just a bit of practice. Practice finding it and practice casting the net. It's no good being able to cast the net if you can't find the bait, and it's no good being able to find a bait if you can't cast the net. But both of these guys can do both. So they're doing pretty well. It's half the fun of fishing too, of course, is just catching the bait. And also enjoying the scenery. We're fishing up on that point just around the corner. We've just got the car parked around there and that's where we're fishing. Okay, the water's alive with bait here. You should be able to see that school over there. It's just teeming with bait. And look at Bryony this time. Is she amazing or is she a tomboy? I think she's just amazing. Bloody hell.
How's that for bait?
Yeah, well, zoomed out as far as I can. Look, I can't make you all fit on. Oh, Jesus. And they're all mullet. And they're slightly smaller than this morning. She'll probably just live here all the time on the flats. That's fantastic. The wild brony's throwing a bait back. We'll have a little bit of a look at the mangroves over there. There's some mud flats out there too when it's low tide. There's probably a bit of a nursery for all these fish that we're catching, I imagine. There she's only got 100 to go and she'll be finished. And she's still going. So she's getting near the end of it now. Just some of the more tangled fish are still caught in the net. And I guess if they don't survive, there's plenty of rocks here with crabs living under them. They'll get utilised by the crabs still. Not that that's any consolation if you're a mullet. How many more now, Brownie?
Just the one that was stuffed.
Just one more.
Yeah, just the one that's being stuffed by his gills.
Well, he's probably going to be crab food.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Brownie's off now. He's had enough practice. Going to go back and check our lines and see what Matthew's doing. Yeah, here we are back in our fishing little point again. As you can see, nothing's happened. We've lost another bait. And that's been all. The rod's been quiet. Nothing going on at all, so I might as well take you over there and show you that bridge in the distance. This is called the Mission River. That's the Mission River Bridge. It's around about 1 kilometre long and really deep in the middle. And I don't know how again that sun could be a bit bright, but it might come out alright. And it's a one-lane bridge. You've got to give way at either end to vehicle coming the other way. And because it's so long, you have to have your headlights on, which works fine except for on a foggy morning coming home from work and you can't see across the bridge, then you get in a bit of strife sometimes.
No? Where I can see it. Put it down and move away. Where'd the eagles go?
You're not constantly filming, are you? Are you or no?
I can't even see the fish, so yeah, I am.
Green.
But I still can't see the fish. Can anybody see the fish?
Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you. Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go? Jamaica, off the Florida Keys. There's a place called Kokomo. That's where you wanna go to get away from it all. Bodies in the sand, tropical drink melting in your hand. We'll be falling in love to the rhythm of a steel drum band. Down in Kokomo, Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you through Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go down to Kokomo? We can make it fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where we wanna go. Way down to Kokomo. Martinique, that Montserrat mystique. We'll put out to sea and we'll perfect our chemistry. By and by we'll defy a little bit of gravity. Afternoon delight, cocktails and moonlit nights. That dreamy look in your eye, give me a tropical contact high. Way down in Kokomo, Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you through Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go down to Kokomo? We can be fast and